Welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series of the ultimate reset for 2025. I have so many things on my to-do list that I want to get done by January, and I made this little series to hopefully motivate you to do it along with me. And since there is so much to do, so many things on the to-do list, I'm not going to yap any further. I'm just going to tell you that if you're interested in this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You could give it a like, it really helps me, and let's get it done. Every year for the last 4 or maybe even 5 years, I've used Eileen from Lavendare's Artist of Life workbook to set my goals and intentions for the year. And I do this because it helps me focus on things more than just like one thing. I don't know about you, but I grew up with really the only goal ever for the new year being to lose weight. And I think there's a lot more to life than that. And her workbook was the first thing that ever made me realize all the different areas of your life where you can be intentional. And I really just love to start the new year off that way. And I usually do this at my parents' house between Christmas and New Year's. But this year I actually came back to my house for that little break because Tippy was having his health issues and I didn't want to be away from him. So we get to do this in our own backyard, and it's really exciting because that means Madison and I did a lot of this together actually. The workbook asks you to like reflect on your 2024 goals and what the highlights were, what worked, what didn't work, and then you go through and try to use that experience to make a list of what you want to do for 2025. So we each set our word of the year. I'm sure I'll talk a lot more about it in the coming months. We answered all the good questions like, how do I want to feel this year? What do I want to release? What are my ideal habits? I think we got to a really good point with that, but then the sun was making its way to where we were sitting, as you can see, and this little guy was ready to go inside. So we went inside, put away some of the holiday decorations, and moved on to one of the biggest tasks on our to-do list, but one I think will have the greatest impact on our goals for 2025. There is a squirrel jumping up on my... We're a little too comfortable here, sir. Okay. Well, that was fun, but obviously we just did like a big goal setting session basically for the new year. And one of the biggest things that you've probably seen from my recent videos is that we want to save a lot of money this year. I think just when we look at our finances from last year, what we want to change about 2025 is spending less money on food, which means cooking more food at home. And I think one of the first steps to making sure you cook more at home and that you're using what you have, step 1 would be to inventory your stuff. This is our pantry, our fridge is over here, and so we're going to do a pretty big inventorying session. Is that a word? This is so that we know what we have and we know what we can use to create recipes so that we're buying less stuff, using what we already have, reducing food waste all along the way. So that's gonna be quite a big task. When I say inventory things, I don't mean like the way I've been doing it for years, which is like before I order groceries, I'll look in there and see what we have. I mean, we are going to try to catalog everything because I cataloged my wardrobe a few months ago and I've learned so much since then. I do believe it has saved me so much money since then, and I'm hoping that by inventorying what we have in this home, we can do the same. And a lot of these apps, once you inventory what you have, will help you also put recipes together according to what you have. So we're going to do all of that, big feet, then probably go grocery shopping after we inventory everything. But first, I want to show you this other tool I recently got. It will also help reduce food waste, but in a more environmentally sustainable way. We're gonna set it up because it just came in just in time for my New Year's reset. Okay, I think by now you understand that food waste is a huge issue, but you might not realize that Project Drawdown actually lists reducing food waste as the #1 solution to fighting climate change as an individual. And 88% of people in the US don't have access to curbside composting, and even fewer have the means to do it themselves. So if you have all of that information and you feel guilty about throwing your scraps in the trash, yeah, same, and that's where Mill comes in. Mill is an odorless, fully automated food recycle that fits right into your kitchen. And the way it works is you just toss your food scraps, fruits, veggies in to the little bucket, and from there it does its thing, which means it grinds the scraps into smaller pieces automatically and periodically. It dehydrates them to eliminate moisture and therefore odors. And if you're like me and you have a garden, you can add those grounds straight to your soil. Just mix them in and let it rest for a few weeks before planting so all the nutrients nourish the soil first. But I realize that the issue with composting a lot of times is people don't have that. And that's why I'm really excited to partner with Mill, because they'll send your grounds back to farm, which basically creates a complete circular zero waste cycle. This takes away all of the mess and the smell and the labor of composting, which makes it actually accessible for busy households, apartments, and anyone who wants to reduce food waste. Yeah, I just had to let you know about this incredible kitchen tool. Okay, I'm really excited to see how that works and report back because like I said, the majority of people do not have access to composting and it's one of the best things we can do. Reducing food waste is one of the best things we can do for the planet. So I don't compost in my backyard because I have free curbside composting and it's just easier and more efficient for me to do it that way. But we do have garden beds out there, which hopefully it's on the to-do list to fill those today. And then we can use the scraps here for that out there and then I don't have to buy compost, which would be very nice. But now begins the big task of cataloging everything in our fridge and pantry. I'm quite nervous about that, but wish us luck. I hope this doesn't take all day. So I've talked about why we decided to do this inventory in some of my recent videos. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But I really want to save money this year and I get really stressed out when I can't find things. So this is to help with that. After the pantry, we also still need to do the fridge, freezer, and all of my bulk like dry goods that are stored on shelves. But all I could think while we were doing this pantry part is why do we have so many sauces? I have the smallest pantry of everyone I know. I still feel like we have a lot of stuff and just seeing everything we have, honestly going through it in this way was giving me so many ideas. So I think overall, even just looking at all the things we have was really helpful. This is everything cleared out of our pantry. The pantry, do you want to show them?
Pantry is 100% empty. Haven't seen it like this since the day we moved in. Incredible.
There are things like Madison's teas, protein supplements, stuff like that. I don't think we need to catalog that stuff. That's why I put it over there. This is all the stuff that we need to take note of what we have so that we can avoid buying things that we already have. So we are gonna take a lunch break because it is lunchtime and then we're gonna get to it. Taking inventory of everything that was in our pantry. And we'll clean the pantry. Make sure it's nice and pristine because there's like agave that got on the shelf, dust and stuff like that. The app we decided to go with is called Cooklist and it is $5 a month, but honestly that's the cost of like 2 items I might buy that I already have per month, and I'm going to do the monthly option instead, not the year one, just in case I decide I don't need it anymore or it's not helping me. But it was so easy to do this because you can scan the barcode through the app, which made this process so easy, and like I was very impressed. Let's see if I scan this, if it works well. Oh my god. Okay. And we could just keep doing that, I think. Oh my god! Wait, how cool is that? Are you obsessed?
I'm obsessed.
Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
And then it connects also to your grocery store, so it can import the items you order if it's curbside, or you can literally scan your receipt and it will import all the things that way. So once you do this full inventory, like once we do this, we will kind of be on autopilot. It will be really, really simple from there. And you can even put in expiration dates so you know what to use up first. It'll like notify you when something is getting close to expiring. I've gotten some comments, it's like, you're making this way more complicated than it needs to. You don't need an app, just do a spreadsheet. And I'm like, no, I think these apps are literally changing my life. Not to be dramatic. We'll never run out of cayenne.
Cayenne for days.
I was making something once and I needed cayenne, so Madison ran to the closest grocery store and grabbed this. We'll never run out of cayenne. Wow.
My gosh, it's looking 100% better.
100?
100.
I'm not sure that Madison knew what all we were getting ourselves into today, because when I told her what we were doing today, she was like, oh, that sounds so manageable, so great, no problem. And this is like, what are we, like 6 hours into this now?
Yes.
But our pantry looks amazing. we're really happy with how everything turned out. We have a few bags to take to the free fridge so far, but we need to go through our fridge and freezer next. I do think that'll be a little bit faster, but we also will probably have things that we need to compost because we were gone for a week for the holidays. Mostly the things that are in there are probably bad, and then we can compost some of those things and bring you a little bit closer to the pantry.
Well, I'm just glad that we finally did this. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but it's definitely a daunting task, and it is also very cool that we inventoried everything. So now we know what's in here. This will be really helpful onto the fridge.
Let's walk you through some of the things we have to get rid of while we're cleaning out the fridge. The tiniest jar of pimento you've ever seen. I needed this the other day when I made wraps for a Christmas party. Almond skins, my friend brought me after she made blanched almonds the other day so that I could make the almond skin bacon bits that I made.
What the is this here? They've been sun-dried in another lifetime. What the?
I made pasta the other day. This is not anything weird or bad. I literally made this like not even a month ago, so.
Why has it got butter infused
It's
in
the
it?
oil that they're in it.
Oh no.
Hardened.
That ain't right.
We bought these for my friend's going away party in September. Oh, it's still good till June. But we didn't need to use all of them, so we'll donate this. Turns out there's not a ton of stuff to get rid of in the fridge. We did compost some things, but not too much. But the thing that's complicated is we do still need to inventory things in the fridge and freezer. But when you leave the fridge open for more than, I think it's a minute or 30 seconds.
Something like that.
It dings, it makes a noise. And I can't push past the noise because, fun fact, once I left the fridge open for so long, in all honesty, because I was filming a YouTube video and then I broke it.
Compressor failed or something. It was a whole situation.
Needless to say, now every time the fridge makes that noise that warns you to close the door, it's like very anxiety inducing for me. So we need to figure out a way to categorize everything, but like move really fast so that we can do that. What if we take a picture of of the fridge and then I can just do it manually instead of by barcode?
That's a choice.
Yeah, I think we might do that. Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll just sit down and go one by one, and you can help me do it. Okay, well, how are we splitting this up?
Okay. I want the easy stuff. You can take the hard stuff. Take the second thing. How do you spell Cholula? Cholula. I didn't find it on here. It's not the same. But okay.
We were able to sort some things out that we probably just thought we weren't going to be able to get to, or like some duplicates, you know, stuff that was getting close to like its expiration date and we wouldn't get to it in time. So we decided to take those things to our free fridge. In Austin, we have something called ATX Free Fridge, which is basically like a food pantry, but it doesn't have all of the red tape around it, and it's very mutual aid. It's very much like take what you need, give what you can. So I always try to give things here whenever we have the opportunity to, and I would highly recommend you look for one where you live, because it's, yeah, like I said, mutual aid is just so important to me, and this is just one of the easiest ways. Even when you're cooking a meal, if you have leftovers, you can pack it up and give it to them. You know, I give all kinds of things, so look for where you live. But after that, we also needed to grab some groceries. I am sticking true to not using my car if something is bikeable within less than 20 minutes, so this was a good example for that. And then we had one more pretty massive project on the to-do list when we got home. So fun fact, in Austin we have a type of soil / dirt. It's called Dillo dirt, and I think it freaks a lot of people out, but it's like the most eco-friendly thing you could use as soil in your gardens. And before I tell you what it's made of, I will tell you it is indeed EPA approved to grow vegetables with. It's made from our wastewater treatment plant, aka the solid waste that comes from our sewage. Yeah. And then they also use the brush pickup like twice a year or something. You can put out big branches and stuff and they'll come pick it up. So it's a type of soil that is completely made from waste material. And if you can avoid buying it in all those plastic bags, it's honestly incredible. It's what I've used for everything in my front yard. We're about to move it into the garden beds. If you haven't seen my garden beds before, they're here. We did fill them with some cedar, and then we just been putting like random stuff in them, honestly, ever since we got them. Our neighbors had a big cedar tree right there, and they cut it down, and when I saw that they were doing that, I just ran over and asked them to just like throw stuff over the side of the fence. So then I filled the bottom of it with that. But now it's time to start growing food again. We decided to get it delivered because it was cheaper. We could avoid all of those plastic bags that come with soil otherwise. And we were able to borrow a wheelbarrow from one of our neighbors in our Buy Nothing group. And this is the perfect way to set myself up for success going into the new year of 2025. And I could not be more excited that this is finally done.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally have these beds full of soil and also now compost. I'm normally not someone to say that like you can only get your life together at a certain time of year, because I don't really believe that. I think you can get, things on your to-do list or things you've been putting off. At any point you can decide that you're ready, like emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, like all of those things. And I wanted to remind you of that because I don't want this series to be something that makes anyone feel like they need to get their life together, or if your life isn't together, it's like some moral failure, because I don't feel that way. I've shown plenty of times on this channel when my life is not together. I just personally feel very motivated by the beginning of the year, and so sometimes I put certain things off until this time of year because I know the motivation will kick in for me, and that's why I'm doing this. And I hope you're similar in that way. This will give you some motivation, not discourage you or make you feel bad. That's not what we're doing on this channel, and that's not the intention of this little mini series. And speaking of series, if this is the first video in this series that you've watched, make sure you go watch part 1 and make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on so that you don't miss part 3. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Come on, girls.